Hello and welcome to the Good Newspaper Jubilee Special Edition. We're seeing a lot of bunting and many events are planned over the long weekend ahead. It's exciting, isn't it? This doesn't happen very often. And in our paper this month, the Queen has a very special place, of course. The title says she's the anchor of her life, and that's her faith. And I was talking to someone on the market today when I was down in Leighton Buzzard, and they were saying that the Queen is someone to look up to. She's become a bit of an anchor for the nation, as it were. There's not many other people in public life who hold any sort of standards of morality or anything else, but the Queen does, and it's all because of her faith. So we're going to look at this a bit more as we go through now, and Andy's with me. Welcome, Andy. What do you find in the paper this month?
Hi, Colin. Well, I mean, obviously, as you say, we've got Her Majesty the Queen on the cover, but we've got so many stories inside of people who also have found that God can be the anchor of their life, that when life gets rocky, when life gets uncertain, when life gets unsure, God is the one in whom they can put their trust and find someone who is reliable, who loves them and who cares for them. Back page, the football season's just finished. You will know that I'm a massive football fan. I'm sporting one of my Bristol City shirts today. And we got the story of a player who plays for Hearts up in Scotland. He was having a fantastic season. Then he got injured and he had to miss the rest of the season. And he was ever so upset. The fans were ever so upset because he was their best player. But what I loved was this quote from this guy who's a Christian. He said, "This is why you can't put your joy in football. You cannot put your joy in football because injuries and rejection can happen. And I've learned that the hard way. I had to learn that God is the only one who's going to stick by you, even if the whole of football has forgotten who you are." That's a fantastic statement. Here's a guy at the peak of his career, really, really playing really well, gets injured, gets pushed to the sidelines, but he says, God hasn't pushed me to the sidelines. My hope, my trust, my anchor is God. And I just love that story of this footballer that we've got on the back page.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. That is really interesting, isn't it? It's very good. Yeah, so we're just turning to the main story again about the Queen. Just wanted to quote something from the article here. Well, as we know, she's been Queen now for 70 years, past the milestone in February. And she said back in February that as we mark this anniversary, I'm pleased to renew the pledge I made in 1947 that my life will be wholly devoted to your service, to God's service. To service of us, but to service of God as well. And she's never been shy about acknowledging that Jesus Christ has been the strength of her life. And I think that's very encouraging for us that to know that she offers that example for us. And another story that I've come across in the paper today is about a man who Joshua Broom, who was earning enormous amounts of money, $1 million or something crazy. He was in the porn industry, and he said that he started to lose his identity, forgot who he was, and became depressed and just really lost his way. He felt full of shame for what he was doing, and he isolated himself from all his friends and family, and really just became very inward looking on a downward spiral. And things changed, though. Things turned around because he had an encounter with a woman who talks about faith and got alongside him, and eventually I think became his wife, and it changed his life really. And he started going to church, and it just changed everything about him. And he says that now he is a passionate communicator, a message of restoration. He's been healed through the life-giving power found in Jesus, and he wants to help others. So he found the anchor in his life, like the Queen talks about, and it changed him, and it can change us too. Yeah. Andy, over to you.
Well, let's just say, Colin, that the paper is perfect if you're having church events related to the Jubilee, if you're doing outreach this month. Get hold of a copy of the Good News newspaper. The Good News of Jesus is on every page. We've even got an Oxford scientist who is a Christian and debates with people like Richard Dawkins about the reality of God and the truth of the Christian faith. So variety, myriad articles in here. If you're into EastEnders, the BBC paid tribute to June Brown, who played Dot in EastEnders. She was a Christian. All sorts of stories. Something for everybody. Get hold of a copy of the Good News newspaper. We'll send you one. Follow the link at the end of the video. Get it out there. Get the good news out there. And if you're not a Christian, if you don't know, if you don't have an anchor in your life at the moment, and maybe like so many people, you're going through rough seas, well, like Her Majesty, you can find an anchor in God. And we would recommend that to you. Thanks, God.
Thank you.